Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Primo Calcio Weekly Review. It is match day 31 of Serie A. Everything is heating up. I'm here with Anthony, and I'm Michael as always. How you doing?
It's been an awful week, so it's just we're gonna have to start divvying these games up. I'm telling you, between the horrible performances, the constant failing, the whining, it's just too many games to watch, too many disappointments to handle. I'm just pretty much in fetal position all weekend,
I don't know, man. This
contemplating my life choices.
it's kind of what was predicted at the end of the end of our
Yeah.
last cast. We talked about it a lot. I think we're pretty much on board. A couple differences here and there, but in general, the theme of this series is nobody's been able to truly take advantage when other teams are failing, and the same thing almost across the board happened here. So, you want to just get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Match number one here, Genoa versus Udinese, 1-0 Genoa. Udinese has been a little bit on a cold streak of late. They've got 3 losses, 1 draw, and a win in their past 5. So they were doing quite well, and they could have threatened for possibly like an outside run at Europe, but definitely no longer their way out of it. I think Udinese is toast. But Genoa has been, I mean, pretty strong, very, very consistent since Vieira's been there. They've just been steady Eddie, and nothing new here.
Vieira, the most underrated coach in Serie A right now. I think he's done a great job with what he's had to work with, and he's gotten the most out of his players. His team's always played tough, even when they're outmatched. So
Yeah, I mean,
doing good,
it's not a
doing a good
great
job.
team. It's not a great team. Pinamonti's good,
Nope.
Zanola's good, Friendship good. The Winter's okay. I think he's
Moretti's
overrated
been good.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Winter's
Moretti's
definitely
good.
overrated.
But no, I mean, it's yeah, and once again, you're seeing Udinese directly struggle without Tovan. I think it's 3 games now. He's been out in 3 games. They've really struggled or lost. So
Well, that's exactly what the problem is with them. He's their best player for sure.
yeah, Luca's
And you're
fine, but
definitely
without
right about
service.
yeah. Well, I mean, Tavan makes it happen. He links things up. But and I was going to say about the De Winter thing. What is a good defender now?
I don't know. He's been talked about a lot. He's been linked with a bunch of places. People been saying he's a promising guy. I think he's just okay, and that's
Right.
honestly what I can say about most defenders that people build up. I think they're just okay. Um,
Yeah, that's my point. It's like I don't know what a good defender is anymore. I mean, people are just gushing over these completely average defenders, and
it's
the
what you
biggest
got
stats
though.
always, oh, he
It's
could
what you got
he
though.
could play the long pass. Like, who gives a shit? There's kids that can in high school play the long pass. Big freaking
Yeah, I
deal.
think that Bastoni was like one of the first, I guess, who really made this like a big thing. Where like, all right, he has a really like good quality left foot. There's a lot of long balls, and for some reason, that's like the new way to play center back because you can't really defend anymore. We talk about it all the time, but so I mean, I guess that's the new way. Last ditch challenges and good long passing, and
Yeah,
that's what makes a good defender now. Which is
I
not
guess.
definitely like the last criteria I look at. The first thing is
Yeah,
marking. Second is like game reading. I guess those are kind of like right up there
yeah.
for me.
Positioning,
Yeah,
reading, marking. Yeah,
those are far
those
away
things.
the most important for me. But
Yeah, aerial presence,
yeah,
combativeness.
right. Um, Monza Como. I know I'm just gonna keep predicting wins for Monza. I want them to get at least one here. I didn't actually think they were gonna beat Como. Como's been one of the better mid pack teams around. Their winter Mercato was good, and it's pretty much. I think we were talking on the phone before this, and all of the winter signings got some Icone, Diao, and Voivoda, all for Como, Dani Mota. One of the only bright spots on Monza. 3-1. Monza is host.
Yeah, they've been toast.
Not much to cover
Yeah, you,
there.
you can't sell off your few good players you have. You just can't do that, and especially you can't sell them
Nope.
and then not replace them. So yeah,
First thing to get into is going to be
yeah,
the Parma and Inter game. So,
yeah.
I guess where do you want? I want to start here. You want to start Parma's performance, Inter's performance? It was kind of a huge surprise.
Yeah, this really was. I mean, I actually stopped watching it.
I thought it
I
was
was a
gonna be
little
over.
upset.
I thought it was gonna be
Yeah,
over. I had it on the background, and once Parma got that goal, I was like, I started watching again. But yeah, I kind of was just doing other things around the house, and then Parma got that goal. I was like, wait a minute, like Inter doesn't look good the second half, and Parma looks motivated. And lo and
yeah.
behold, I mean, they actually did come back. They're pretty impressive.
I mean, it's a big shocker. This is a huge misstep from Inter,
Yeah.
and this is another golden opportunity for Napoli, who have botched like 5 of these since January, and Yeah, I mean, Inter shouldn't be losing to Parma any day of the week. I don't care about we talk about their lack of depth, their lack of motivation. I don't care about any
Yeah,
of
their
those
backups
things.
should be good enough to beat Parma.
Yeah, I mean, no excuses for this, dude. This is on Inzaghi, and that's that.
So what do you think Inzaghi's doing that's not good enough?
I don't know. I mean, he's got the talent to do it. I don't think he's a great defensive coach. I really don't. I think he gets really arrogant and cocky. I think in the first Juventus match of the year, they were absolutely destroying us. It was like 4-2, and he just kept trying to get more and more and more instead of just locking it down. I know it's really hip and cool to go for more goals nowadays, but there's a certain point where you just need to just lock it down and get the game done with. Because if you give someone an opportunity by leaving, leaving yourself open, and they take advantage of it, now the momentum swings. You give the opponent belief. As soon as you make one mistake, you give the opponent that one little glimpse of hope. In the modern game, especially when character's low and emotions are high, I mean, boom, that momentum train just starts to, starts chugging along, and you're just screwed. And these players, like I said, don't have enough character to overcome it. And I think, yeah, even if it's, weak little Parma, it's like, well, they're feeling it now. They got the confidence, and Inter starting to, you know, turtle up. They're starting to get scared, turtle up,
Yeah, I think
emotionally.
I think Inzaghi, and something that I thought for a bit, is I think his reading of the game during the game is poor. I actually think he always comes prepared. Like, he almost always has a proper starting lineup. His team's well organized from the get go. Um, I just don't ever like his substitutions. At least I don't love them. I don't think he adjusts the game tactically as well as what is needed. And you can see this many times. Somebody pointed out where they keep taking out crucial guys because they think they got the game wrapped up, and they should, but they don't adjust how they're playing either. Like, they don't play differently. Just like, here, you just plug in the hole, and hopefully you're good. Like, they took out Bastoni in minute 46. They took out DiMarco in minute 59, and boom, they get a goal in the 60 69th minute, and then Parma scores right after that as well. So, like, the goals came after some of their best players came off, and I mean, I know their backup should be able to handle it, but you also do need to secure these points if you're going for a win with Inter. And it seems like, one, their depth is not so great, but I also think that really um, Inzaghi doesn't read games the best. I think that's actually one of his Achilles heels.
I totally agree with you. I say this nicely. No, he's had by far the best team in Serie A for a number of years now. And since he took over the Scudetto winning team that he took over, he's absolutely, without a doubt, he has the best team in Serie A each year. He's only won one Scudetto.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's not good for what he's had. Those the Milan team, the Napoli team that beat him, they weren't as good as his team. Maybe not, but they're
No, they
they're
weren't.
Scudetto
They
winning
weren't. No,
team.
in
Like, come on,
especially the
like,
Milan year. Like, yes, Milan caught fire, but Inter should have still won that. It was down to the last match day, and it should have never gotten there anyways. Napoli was a
yeah,
little bit different story. They caught really hot fire, but I mean, I agree.
it was
It's
just a
not
case of a
enough.
hot team. I mean, like the Inter team was a better team, top to bottom. I mean,
Yep.
you need to win those, and he just didn't. Like, if Conte stayed there, he would have won them every year, no doubt about it.
Yeah. I
It's
would agree with that.
and there's a reason for that. So, I think he's a very good coach. He gets way more credit than he deserves. Let's see what he does with the in Europe. But he's done everything possible to lose this title, and he's very lucky that there's just a complete lack of competence across Serie A as a whole.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I mean, I think Inter has what it takes. They're probably still gonna walk out of it just because teams
Because they
like
will.
Napoli cannot capitalize, and that really is just theme of this year. The teams are not capitalizing when there is a chance. But I think that's actually why they're gonna just kind of slowly skate by. I actually thought Napoli was gonna win it, and that's been my prediction for a long time now, just with having Conte there. Even though I don't think the team is as good on paper, but I don't know, with how this week went, it kind of further just seemed like, all right, we're just in for a stumbling end to the season, and Inter will probably pull it off. That's kind of
Yeah,
at least what I'm
Inter's
thinking.
Inter's going to win on class alone. This is not a certainly not coaching. Inzaghi did not win this. If Inter does pull this off, and I think they will. I agree with you. They're going to stumble into it. this is absolutely not Inzaghi's doing. I mean, this is just because they've had the best roster. And I mean, what Conte's doing with that team is incredible. But you're starting to see with them. I mean, they just can't. They just
Yeah.
don't have the class.
No,
Simple as that.
I agree. A little standout to a different Bernabe. By the way, find the hidden
The
Bernabe
other
guys.
Bernabe, he's
Find the less
yes.
cool Bernabe, but yeah, Bernabe played great. It was a good sub on, and then he definitely changed it a little bit. So a little bit of shout out to him, from Parma.
Yeah, he's a good
But
little player.
yeah, Inter, I don't know.
So
They're
is
going to
Tony.
have to change something going forward. So we'll look at their next match. I think they have what we consider an easy one, and it's at home at Cagliari. If they don't come out with a win in this one, I do think it's going to be broken open. You can't escape with these ones too many times. Everybody's not going to botch it 2 weeks in a row, but so they're going to have to clean it up next week.
Well, I think they have a
Champions League
decently
coming up though.
easy schedule, but yeah, So we'll see now because they've got a couple. Their schedule's slightly uh, tougher than Napoli's is now, and they do have some Champions League. And
Champions
you know how
League's
these guys, they
tomorrow
just can't
too.
play more than they just can't handle more than one game
Champions
a
League is
week. So
tomorrow.
yeah, that's
So
fine. They'll get 4 days to rest for this Serie A.
yep, and then I don't think round two of the Copa is until like 2.5 weeks from now. So they should get to
Yeah.
play the Champions League without having that. I think it's just 2 rounds in a row, I believe. Let me see when the second leg is. Yeah. So they do basically Champions League, Serie A, Champions League, Serie A, and then Copa. So which is good because I'd rather them do that than space a Copa in there because I mean it will start to add on them, especially guys like Shahanoglu. If he's tired for these games, Inter I don't think is going to win it. He's too crucial to them.
Yeah. No, he is.
Um, we can talk more about Inter stuff going forward. Something that I will say is that I think you called this out weeks ago, maybe like like when we were just first started doing this, is that I mean, and I think people are finally starting to see it. Their depth is just not that great.
No, it's not.
It's just not that great. When you go and replace guys with Bisek, you go and replace your midfield with Aslani. I mean, it's just not that good. It's not that good. And and if you put all those guys on a starting lineup, if you put their backups on a starting team, they would struggle to get top four, top European spots. I think. I don't think they would easily be competing for Scudetto. I think they would struggle to even get top four, top five, top six. So I just don't. I think
Yeah,
they're okay players, not great.
I don't know. Marotta's made some great moves with Turam. I like the Zielinski thing.
It's smart
These
for
free
sure.
transfers he got. Yeah, you can't criticize the free transfers. They worked. The Shalanoglu thing was a good. But it's there's not enough depth from this team for how long he's been there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean he should be doing. They should be doing a lot better with you know, how much time they've had. Marotta I don't think has done a great job. I think he's done a good job. He gets a lot more credit than he was really great at Juventus, but he also started to fade with that team, and he started to, in my opinion, do a lot of things that weren't necessary. Bring in a lot of players that weren't needed, disrupt a little bit of the squad, like that. That all started before he left left before the Ronaldo thing, which everyone blames it on that. I didn't like what he was doing in particular at Juve either. I think he was getting a little desperate, and now it's like he's doing the opposite at Inter. Instead of being desperate, he's just being very satisfied, just being like, oh, well, we'll just get this one guy. We'll just get this one guy. Hey, maybe it's gonna work. Maybe they come out with the treble this year. Who knows? But I tell you what, in Serie A, they didn't win Serie A. They just I think their guys lost it. They've done a pretty poor job.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to see some of the cracks in the armor. Right? We just talked about Inzaghi and his game reading during the match. His substitutions are very robotic. He just replaces them at the same time every game. Doesn't matter how the match is going, you just can change him. You're seeing some of those chinks in the armor of Marotta as well, right? You see like what he's not the best
Yeah.
at. He's great at picking those one or two signings that are going to really enhance the team. I thought Zelensky was smart, Zalewski was smart, and I thought that obviously the Thuram was fantastic. Um, However, like you just don't see like the building for the future happening right now yet. I guess you
No.
could say Fratesi was a good one, but he plays so little. I don't see how he can be like an integral part, and that's why he's always linked with moves away. I think you need to actually start truly getting these younger guys in there to build this team, get a couple more free transfers. We'll see what he does this offseason, but yeah, you're definitely seeing to see some cracks here.
Oh yeah. No doubt about it. I thought they'd be a lot better than they were this year. That's for sure. I thought they'd just walk with it.
Yep.
But
All right, want to move on to another big game here: Milan versus Fiorentina. This is a top four, pretty much two teams who have a shot at it. I don't think that they are the favorites to get top four. Obviously, Milan's way out, way on the way out. They needed a win here. Fiorentina, I think, also needed a win here to keep it close enough. And none of them were able to pull it off. Fiorentina was sitting at 51 points. With the win, they would have been at 54. Only one game off of four, so they needed a win. And Milan is now, after this week, 9 points off. So they are 3 games out for sure. They needed a win to only be 2 games off. So 2-2. Once again, as is the theme with AC Milan, Conceição cannot get his team set up properly. They always get scored on first. Doesn't matter if it's against a top class team or a bottom dweller team. They always look terrible in the start of the game. Because tactically, he is incredibly inept, is what we're seeing here. And the team is just sloppy. Did you see the goals of this one? Or you want me to kind
Yeah,
of go and break them down?
yeah. You start because I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent. I think I texted you guys this after the game, but so
So
you go for it.
goal one, Conceição has a fascination with Yunus Musa. He just loves him because he works hard, and I get that. But you have to have some quality, right? Or please put him in a place that's not going to hurt the team. So he makes a terrible play, loses the ball right in midfield, and they go on a little bit of a break. However, there's still a ton to do for the Fiorentina team. If you look at like, and man, we really say this all the time. I gotta take these snapshots. There's still two Milan defenders, Moise Keane and then Goodmanson, and then Fofana is still the closest one back. So it's really a 2-on-3, and they still get scored on here. Goodmanson basically just works Tomori with a very quick move, which all of a sudden Tomori is playing when he haven't played in several games, and just blasts a goal in. Did you see this goal at all?
Mhm. Yeah, watch this whole game.
Super sloppy stuff. Which is just the key. I don't know why he doesn't just consistently run Gabbia out there and then pick who's next to him. You know he's your best defender. Play him every game. Milan only has one competition because Copa's a joke. Just they have one real competition to play him. You had one last shot to try and get top four, and it was this game. Why are you not playing your best players? It's incredibly frustrating.
I
Eh,
don't think he knows. When he first got here, so he does not like Gabbia. When he first got there, Gabbia was a starter. He benched him. He went with
More.
Tamori
Yep.
and Tao. He does not like Gabbia.
Not at
Tamori and
all.
Tao have been so bad this year. He just has to play Gabbia. So the second he has an excuse to bench Gabbia, he's going to. So I don't. Maybe Gabbia, farted or something in the locker room and it pissed him off. Maybe he bombed a drill, but whatever he did, because it wasn't based on last game, whatever he did got him benched for this one. So
I just don't
he's
don't
just
get this,
waiting to
man.
bench that guy.
Like,
He's not a good coach.
no.
It's simple as that. I mean, I like his little his little grimacy attitude. Is he's just like his son. His son grimaces but
Fights
plays with his
hard.
head down and
Yeah.
doesn't do it. Yeah,
Yeah. Fights hard,
but
but doesn't seem very cerebral. Um, Man, the center back pairing is just really jacked up, right? I think you start with Gabbia and then you put different people next to him and see who's best. Is
yeah,
Pavlovic going to be best? Is Thiago going to be best? Is Tomori? And give them a good run of games. Let them develop some chemistry and see what happens, right? Technically, on paper, you would think that Gabbia Tomori would be the best since Tomori is
yeah.
good on the ground. He's fast. He can cover some of the lack of pace from Gabbia. And Gabbia can read the game better than all the defenders we have. And he's good in the air. That should
I
be
think
your
he's the only
best.
one on your team that can read the game. Honestly,
Yeah, no, for sure. That should be your best. But yet they haven't run it. And as I've been saying for, I don't know, 2 seasons now, 3 seasons, just run a 3-man back line. Like, you just run a 3-man back line, put Gabi in the center so you can cover up some mistakes. Run the 3-man. But Milan won't do it. Anyways, that's goal one. Pretty bad as an own goal, but I mean, it was just defensive sloppiness. I won't blame the deflection on Tiao. It's just his terrible marking as well as Tomori's terrible marking giveaway. Goal two was basically right away. That's a little bit ridiculous. So Teo sloppy marking. Keane is left alone in the middle. Man, I just
dude.
wish I can show this. I mean, just if you guys can go watch even the short highlight. You have Moise Keane alone in the box. There's nobody even close to him. You have Chiao and Tamori right on him. There's no other Fiorentina player around. Cross goes in. Cross is out. There's nobody there. And Malik Chiao steps up into empty space and leaves him. Tomori's not, he's just watching the ball, but he thought Chow was on him. Chow steps up to mark nothing. Like, you have to see this. It's remarkable. And then he's way past it and doesn't book his ass to get back. Dodo makes a nice little dink in, and it's easy. Tomori can't get to him. That one to me is all on Tiao. It's terrible. Like,
These
please
guys really
watch
have
this,
no idea what
guys.
they're doing, man. The defending is so bad, week in, week out. I don't even know if there's great goals scored. It just seems like there's just mistakes made.
That is just so low IQ. That actually bothers me. It's like I expect it from Pavlovich. Like he plays like not a smart guy, but he bashes. Yeah, I was like a pretty smooth customer. He's just dumb. Like I don't know that goal. Like if you want to see Tiao's limitations, go watch that goal. Um, I do think
That you can't coach that. Like
no,
that's never going to be. That's just him freezing up in a game,
that's
and
instincts,
that's his
man.
true colors right
Yeah,
there.
that's
Yeah,
instincts.
you're right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
He doesn't sense danger. He doesn't realize, hey, what could this guy do to me? He just like ball is close to here, go to here. It's like, you need to think about what your attacker can do and where you need to be to prevent
Yeah.
that. That's like
Yeah.
101. Um,
Can we
the
talk about
only
Ranieri's called back goal?
what's that? Oh, we will.
Can we talk
We'll
about?
get to that in a second here. I think we
Okay.
actually end with that. Um,
Okay.
next goal, Abraham actually made a great move. Let's talk about not many great goals anymore. That actually was a really good goal. He started the whole move, finished it. So good work from Abraham. A good striker's goal. That's what he does though. He'll play great for a few minutes, then he'll fade. Um, De Gea deserves a standout mention because once Milan got on fire, he really kept them in the game. Um, Fiorentina needs to stop playing Pongracic from the start. His
Yeah,
side
that
was
guy blows.
yep. He makes a couple nice slide tackles, but he's always out of position.
I really think Camuzzo pissed off the management there when he got linked with Napoli and Juventus, and I'm sure he's going to be sold to one of those this winter or this summer. I mean,
Yeah.
because there's no reason you don't keep starting. He's not only is he like your best option for the future back there, not only has he had a great partnership with Ranieri all season long. They were at one point the number one defense in Serie A, but the guys replacing him is by far your worst defender.
Yeah.
That guy's he's terrible. He's dumb. He's unathletic. I mean, he's a bad player. I don't know why he's even out there.
Yep, like, he
I
made a
don't know.
couple nice slide tackles, but the amount of times he was out of position and cost them real stuff was way more. Like it's not worth it. He's not good
Yeah,
enough.
this obsession with slide tackles. It every single player at this level should have a certain amount of skill. They should be able to slide tackle. They should be able to jump. They should be able to kick the ball hard. They should be able to control a ball. It, like you should be able to make a couple slide tackles.
Yeah.
There's we got when we get into Juventus, we got players on Juventus that people are just
I
gushing
was
over slide
totally
tackles.
gonna. It's funny you brought that up. I will bring it up later. The player to mention is Kalulu, but we'll get
Yeah,
there eventually. Yeah. I actually, and we did not talk before this, but kind of saw the same thing. As far
yeah.
about that game at least. So
Oh yeah.
we move on. Luka Jovic is actually playing decent. He does typically better in the two striker system.
Two goals
Smoked
back to back, right?
Pongracic. I don't know if he got a goal in the last game, but he
Yeah,
played
he
well
did.
though.
I thought he
Cannot
got the goal in the
remember.
last game.
Honestly, I can't remember it all. It all. It's just been so bad. But
I'll
yeah,
look it up later.
he
If
gets a
I'm
goal.
right.
Let me see who actually got the assist there to him. I think it was
Yeah, he
Fofana.
got it against Napoli. Yeah, yeah.
It was kind of a bad ball. Like I know people might think it's a good ball. It's kind of a bad ball from Fofana. It was bad defense. Um, yeah, he's been okay. I mean, he's a fine sub for very cheap. He was a free transfer. I don't think he got paid anything. That was pretty much Milan's chunk. There was like a 40-minute chunk where 30-minute chunk Milan was in control. Fiorentina came back. Keane should have scored that goal. Great pass from Fagioli. Once again, Chow poor marking on that one, lost him again, but he could not bury past Magnan, who also had a good game.
Yeah,
So
Chicago was getting worked all game, dude.
all game. Yeah, Magnan I thought had a really good game. Kept Milan in that for sure. And De Gea had a good game because Milan was peppering. We will end with the I guess thoughts and then Ranieri's goal. I don't think that should have been called. Personally, I think that the minimal
Ridiculous.
contact on Pulisic was never enough to even come close to putting a guy down. So I think that should have been a goal that stood.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea what we're doing anymore. At a certain point, you do have to let players play the game. You have to have players fighting for a ball. You're going to have a little bit of contact, and
Yep.
the players are conditioned to scream and roll. I understand that that's the players shouldn't do that. The refs rewarding this kind of behavior is so frustrating.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think
wanted to
that's the
bring
worst
up
part about it.
the point. I texted you guys. I think it was like a little into the second. I was like, "This game is the most obnoxious game I've ever seen." I can't stand Teo and his constant whining and crying and flopping. And it's not just him; it's the whole team. But he's definitely
He definitely
the
makes it more of a
primary.
scene of it. He's a very
Yeah,
he's a standout type
his
of player. So yeah,
his slappable face doesn't help either. But it just, oh my god, it's so obnoxious and hard to watch. And I don't know. I'm trying to get through these games, and it's just constantly whistles for some bullshit that the ref just needs to let him play. You want to cry on the ground? Cry on the ground. It's your choice.
yeah.
Nothing happened. We're moving on. I don't feel sorry for you. That didn't hurt. You know it didn't hurt. You think it does, but it didn't.
Yeah, this isn't good for the
Let's
game.
go. No,
It's
it's
been going
terrible.
on for probably a good 15 years or so, even more. I mean, it's been going on for longer than that,
Yeah.
but it's been really
Well,
bad
since
the
we
past
started, I
10 to
mean,
15.
yeah,
It's
it's always been a more femme game, but like now it's
it's
just
getting
beyond.
worse.
Yeah, it's almost it's nearing it's nearly becoming unwatchable.
Well, they're doing all this
I don't
stuff
even know what
now.
the penalties are anymore.
They're doing all this stuff now where they're like bringing on a ref to talk about this, and you'll see it else. And it's like
Oh God.
I don't really care. Like common sense needs to take precedence at some point. Was there intent? Was there actually like real contact, or was it just like a tap that was a millimeter of pressure? Because that's not enough. Like any contact is not just
Well,
contact, right? I mean, this is a contact sport, right? But they almost act now like it's not. Like if you make contact with somebody in the box, if they just flail their arms up, get a call. It's just like what Teo did the week prior, where he literally stuck his leg in between whoever the defender was, the guy from Napoli, the new guy,
I
who's the
forget who
really
it was.
tall guy. Either way, the new guy that they brought in, Billy. He just literally stuck his leg in
Yeah,
between him and moved to the
yeah.
side to do it, and he got the call. And so
He
it's
got
not
rewarded for that shit.
exactly he should have got a yellow card. Instead, they get a PK. Like that's the problem right there. The refs do need to change it. The players will fall in line if it's a change made across the board wholesale.
Yeah.
It definitely ruined the Fiorentina's chances here. I mean, Milan was playing well for a bit, but when you take a nice goal off like that, that's hard.
Yeah, I mean, but there's been so many atrocities this season, and when you say about the like over analysis when they got this idiot on the halftime show or whatever, breaking down the rules like we're a bunch of idiots and don't know better, you know, it's not. If you're going to hyperanalyze things, then you're going to turn something in, you're going to take the humanity out of it, and you're going to turn it into well, that's the letter of the law, and blah blah blah, and you get things like the Atletico Madrid situation. That's not why
Yeah.
the rule was there.
Honestly, did we post that video yet? I don't know if I did. We need to
No,
post
no, you need to.
those two
Yeah,
things: the Roma one and then the Atletico versus
yeah. The
Real.
Hummels thing was ridiculous. Yeah, the Atletico thing ridiculous.
Yeah.
The Atalanta thing ridiculous.
Yep.
There's it's every week. There's some complete atrocity, and it's justified by hyperanalysis. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm not buying it. I've been watching and playing the sport for a long time. I know that what hurts, what doesn't. I know when let the boys play. Let's stop it. The refs need to stop enabling this shit, and let's not hyperanalyze this garbage at halftime. Fire that idiot that they have on, and that's like
It's not
over-explaining
even
things. We don't
about
need
that.
it.
Yeah, no, it's like you don't need it exactly. Like it's not even about like the person. No matter who they bring in, they're gonna try to like go their best foot, right? They're gonna try like make sure that they sound smart. Just don't do it in the first place. One, two, the refs on the field are actually where the change needs to happen because if that's where the change is, nothing else needs to be done. Serie A needs to come to an agreement to actually play a more masculine game. They just do.
Yeah,
They just do. Common sense needs to take hold. They need to stop all this micromanaging these penalties that I would say 70% are like not real penalties. So yeah, that's what's
agree.
got to happen. This game here overall is a failure on both teams' parts. I think Fiorentina
Yeah,
got, I would say, a little bit robbed. Milan played well enough to probably earn close to a draw, but I think Fiorentina got a little bit robbed here. Um, it
yeah.
was
They got that. That was. I mean, on the field, they put the ball in the net, and they called it back for some egregious bullshit. So that was a robbery. They had plenty of time though to get that goal back. They
Yeah,
did.
and
So
Keane had that
I
one
hate saying
shot that
robbed.
really
Yeah,
should have been buried.
yeah, you got to bury those. So that was a horrible call. That should have been a goal. But it happened earlier enough to where I would say, yeah, they had plenty of time to get
Yeah,
back in
and
the
they had
game.
more
So
than
no
enough chances.
excuses.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Um,
I will say, Fagioli looked good, and so did
Fagioli looked
Ranieri.
really good. I think Fagioli looked really good overall.
Yeah, he's making it rain out there.
Yep, he seems so assured on the ball, which is something that we knew he was going to be a really good player for them. I'm glad
Yep.
because he's actually going to grow now into a real player. He would have just been hamstrung by Juve the whole time. So this is what we just get off the teams like Milan and Juve who don't respect the homegrown talents. Go somewhere
Okay.
else to play and develop. You're going to help the Nazionale way more. That's how I want to end this game. AC Milan from top to bottom, from owner to the top management with Cardinale and Fulani and Ibra. Basically, it's all like American, and then other guys too. Moncada's French, Ibra Swedish. Like then you go to the coach, which is Conceição. You go to the starting lineup, and all the subs. Not a single Italian on that whole thing. That's AC Milan, guys.
This
That's
is why they're
not.
playing
It's not AC
for
Milan, man.
ninth place. That's
That
why
is
they're
so
ninth place,
gross.
tying an eighth place team. Yep.
I know I keep saying it. I'm going to keep bashing it. If you do that type of stuff, and your team is smoking Serie A and winning Champions Leagues, I'll say, listen, I hate this. I won't support this team, but I see why you did it. This thing works. It's fine. I get it. The results are there. I'm not going to support it because I don't believe in that stuff and changing your philosophy and history. But I understand why you did it. You did this, and you've got ninth place to show for it. Milan's got to make a serious turnaround right now. Um, I just hope the fans stop buying these tickets and keep selling out stadiums. It's ridiculous.
No, they won't. That's the problem because they think they're being good fans by enabling this garbage. And I say the same thing about Juventus. I think that we're in very similar spots, and about a year behind you.
The
But
stadium was
yeah,
sold out, man.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah
terrible.
it's virtue signaling. They just feel like they're being a great person by being an enabling fan, and you're not. You're actually hurting the team more than you're helping them. But whatever makes you feel better. But I
Ninth
don't think it's going
place.
anywhere. They're never going to learn. And I think at Juve we've been hearing for years now, especially when Giuntoli got there. He said, "I'm going to build an Italian Juve." Well, we're approaching year 3, and all he's done is offload all of our Italians and buy nothing but foreign bums. So it's this. I'm sure Milan's been giving you the same lip service ever since. So it's going to take years to repair and rebuild these teams. This is not going to be a quick thing.
Well, there's
So
always
it's
names
what
baited,
it is.
but we'll see what happens, right? I think one of the toads we'll do in a little bit is like, will the Italianization, the supposed of Milan, work? And if so, what are the names linked? What would you do? We'll do that at some point.
Oh
Um,
yeah, we should definitely do that. It'll definitely
that'll be
work.
an,
It's
an
just a matter of
interesting
doing it
one.
correctly.
Yeah. Um. All right. Let's. I think we kind of beat that one
Yeah, let's
down.
move on.
It's
Yeah.
Milan's a good topic, man. So, Lecce Venezia.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
I didn't watch this game, dude. Just too many games. Too many games.
Nope.
I'm like I said, we got like allocate which games we watch each week.
Yeah.
So
Would it say
there's just too much crying
no?
for
No.
me to watch every one of these damn
We'll
things.
just say
I
1-1.
was
Baschirotto and Gallo got the goals. We'll move on.
Hey Baschirotto, good job.
Right. All right. So now done with that one. Let's move to Empoli Cagliari. Kind of similar, 0-0. Not
Yeah,
really
just like
much to talk about there. Okay. Torino Verona 1-1.
yeah.
Torino's been one of the teams I kind of follow a little bit. Ricci red card. Elmas another goal. He's been a good signing. Not as much to say there, but middling teams, middling performances. 1-1. Now let's get into the next game.
Yeah.
Lazio Atalanta. What you think?
Ooh, well, the first half was very, very messy, but I'll tell you who I really liked about the Lazio thing. Bellahane or whatever his name is,
Yep.
Bellahui. He's really
Balayan.
good next to Rabella.
Yep.
I would like to see a 4-3-3 out of this squad. I don't think that they have an actual second striker to be playing in the hole there. I would like to see Rovella with Guendouzi and Bellahane. That seems to me like a
I
very,
like that a
very
lot.
tough midfield. All those guys have energy, they can tackle, they have skill. that is a young and tough midfield there. And if they keep using that week in and week out and they really start to gel, that is going to be a force to be reckoned with, I believe, next year. I think Lazio have some really nice pieces. The Romagnoli, Gila center back core will work well. They do need to fix their right back. I think Lazzari is just too busted up. I don't think he's as bad. I think he gets a lot of shit, but I think he's he definitely
Yeah.
busted up. And
I don't think
I mean,
Kolasinac is that great. I don't think Jim City is that great. I think they're reasonable.
oh, Atalanta.
Or yeah,
Oh,
as for Atalanta's there. As far as like Lazio stuff goes, who do you think's better between Gigo and Gila?
Gila.
Like Gila Romagnola,
I
right? Gigo's been okay.
Yeah, Gila's better than so Gila's better, but he needs to just sometimes just chill out, just play defense. There's this obsession with people stepping up too much. I think we were saying that a lot with the national team game matches. When you have these guys that can, that's all they do.
Yeah.
It's like pick your spots, man. It's like they're like a singer on American Idol or something. Man, I don't know if you're old enough to remember that show, but like they just go for the big moment right away. It's like why don't you save that for the end? Okay, come on, let's pick your spots, baby. So yeah, I like Zakania. Isaacson's been excellent.
Yes.
He's come on strong here in the second half of the season, which is a good sign.
He should earn his starting spot. I think he might have
Yeah.
just been rested for the start, but he came on and got the goal there. Good work overall.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think him and Zakanya on the wings could do it. Then you have
Yeah.
Castellanos up top. That's your three, and then you got Belahian, Rovella, and
Yeah.
who's the other guy with the long hair? Guendouzi. So yeah,
Guendouzi.
that'd be good, right? And then I
Yeah.
agree. I think Lazzari has to be replaced. I think he'd be a nice impact sub when you want him to go forward and attack.
Yeah.
However, I think when you already have Tavares on the left side, you kind of don't need Lazzari to also be bombing forward. You kind of want somebody who's a little more controlled, more balanced, so Tavares can kind of do his thing on the left.
Well, Tavares is a loanee. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep him.
Really?
We have to see what happens there. Yeah, he's a loanee. Yes, we're going
Where's
to
he
see
loaned
what
in from?
happens. Arsenal.
Ooh, wonder what the
Yeah.
price is going to be there. Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That is interesting actually when you think about that. Man,
Yeah, I don't think he's sticking around.
I thought Lazio played pretty well, but I honestly thought that just Atalanta played terrible. That's kind
Well,
of
yeah, I was going to
this
get to
game.
that. Yeah, I wanted to start out positive.
I thought Atalanta looked
Dude,
dead. I mean, like they just have not looked
they
inspired. Their attack looks terrible. We're usually they're banging goals. Atalanta's been awful of late.
I think Gasparini's done. The
He
players
is.
know it. They
It's
failed
feeding
all
through, right?
competitions this year. Yep, they failed all the competitions, and they know. They know they've missed all their targets.
It's done.
Yeah, it's done. The season's done.
Yeah, these past three
They're
games
finished.
done. Even if they would, I mean, what were their past three games? Right? They did. What was the last one?
Oh,
They had
they've
Fiorentina.
they've
They
had some
lost to
tough ones. Yeah.
Fiorentina. They
Mhm.
beat Juve. I don't know.
Yeah, blew Juve. Ever since they beat Juve, they've been on a losing streak, I believe. They
Yeah,
just
lost to Inter. They have had a lot of hard ones though. Yeah, Inter, Fiorentina.
yeah,
But I mean, this is where you make your
they know
money.
it's over, man. Yeah.
This is where you make it. Gasparini can't do it. I think we called this right. Is this a season? No, Gasparini he never does
No,
it. Never good
it
enough.
happens every time. That's why you don't want Gasparini to coach your team.
Well, it depends on what team.
Because
If
it's
you're talking about top level team, no, you don't want him there. If you talk about top
yeah,
four, all day long, it's fine.
yeah. But I mean, they do risk falling out of top four.
Oh, I think we talked about it a week or two ago. Said they're actually the team who might drop out of top four. You still got
Yeah,
Roma and Lazio pushing. Juve is just gonna kind of always be there, and Bologna has been really
and
on a good
Bologna.
streak. So, yeah, all these guys are within a game. If Juve and Bologna win next game and Atalanta loses, they double jump them. So Atalanta goes to fifth.
Oh yeah,
So that's pretty wild.
yeah. That's yeah.
I mean,
They were red hot for a while. I mean, how much pride do these players have? Like, do they actually give a shit about what they're doing, or do they're just like, it's over, I quit, blah blah blah. We don't post, pics on Instagram.
I would tell you
Like,
though,
what
it's
are
a
they?
good team to snap some players from. Though I mean, like if especially when Gasp goes, there might
Hmm.
be some people to take. Like honestly, I think
Oh, Lookman's
Ederson.
definitely going.
Lookman's
Ederson's the
gone.
man.
Ederson's amazing. Like that dude can run all
Yeah,
game long. Play him in 2 man or
yeah.
3 man.
That's
Retegui, Bellanova. Those are guys I'd be looking at right now
yeah,
from that team.
yeah.
Those
I think
those four.
a lot of people give Atalanta players a lot of shit because the Gasparini effect or whatever. Or some of them bust. It's like, okay, I could have called most of those busts. Coop Miners was an obvious one, but I think that Ederson does what he does. He does that anywhere. That's not a bust. Retegui was scoring goals at Genoa the year before. That's not a big. I think he's
Retegi's going to
fine
be
as long
fine
as you have
anywhere.
service.
Yep.
Yeah, and like your wingbacks are wingbacks. I don't understand. Like Ruggieri, Scalvini, Villanova. I think those guys are just fine no matter
Yeah,
where they go.
Scalvini, we'll have to
So
see what he does, man. He's
yeah,
two long injuries now. I mean,
yeah, the
he
injuries are an issue.
in my opinion, if he gets one more next season, he's done. He has to
Yeah,
come back and stay healthy for an entire season next season to really have a good career. He's so young; you'd hate to see it happen to him, and he's got so much promise. But I've seen this happen so many times with guys. If they get that one more injury, he's done.
yeah.
So
Well,
we'll
you,
see.
you you just can't sit out that many years.
No,
No matter what age you are, you can't sit out for nearly 2 years now.
You lose
You gotta
that
you
kind
gotta
of fire,
play.
that match confidence, match fitness. I mean, it's a real thing.
It it's gonna take him no matter what happens next year. It's gonna take him significant amount of playing time to
Half a
even get
season
his groove back.
for
Yes,
sure.
yes, at least
Half a
a
season.
half
He's
a
been out
season.
so long.
Yes, and
Look
he's
at
got to play
Zaniolo. He never got
consistently.
his groove back. I mean,
Yeah,
he's a different
yeah,
position, but I mean, still like big
yeah.
injuries, man.
No,
Huge injuries.
that's
So,
true.
um, Karnaseki's another one I forgot to mention. I think he should
Oh yeah,
go
he'll be
somewhere
good
else.
anywhere. That's the guy I
He
wanted on
should
Juve
leave.
over Di
Yeah,
Gregorio. Yeah, I think he's the most talented keeper in Serie A right now as far as like upside.
yeah. I think he's got a huge amount of promise. It's actually somebody when we do our Milan rebuild. Hint, I would probably sell Magnan and pick up Karnaseki.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Anything else to talk about this game? I was actually surprised Lazio fully capitalized. I thought it was gonna be another draw, but good
Yeah,
for them.
they've been
Good
well.
for them.
Yeah, they deserve it. They've been having a rough go lately, and I think that I like the Bellahain or whatever his name is. I gotta learn how to say his damn name, but I like him a lot. And
Yep.
him and Ravella, it allowed. So Ravella is I think he's still. I was looking at some stats. His work rate was still top on the field, but like he still covers the most ground. But he doesn't have to do as much because
Yep.
Guendouzi goes all over the place. He's not super tactically sound, but he's such a workhorse. It
He'll
doesn't
go
really
up, he'll
matter.
go back. He covers whatever ground you need
Yeah,
to. But if you have Belakian in, if Rovella wants to step up a second, try to create, he can do that. He'll still play D mid because that's just what Rovella does. However, you get him in. I mean, like you get him playing consistently with Belakian. You've now got two really good tacklers and true D mids. I love it. I think that's great. It's a shrewd signing. So
yeah,
I like Lazio's midfield. I think they just got to add a little bit of depth in the future to make sure that
yeah.
when those guys go out there, they're good. But Lazio's midfield is very good. They need a couple pieces here and there to make it. And if they build on this team and don't sell some of their bigger guys, their Lazio's going to be a serious threat next year. Not for the Scudetto, but they'll definitely look at kind of challenging for top four again.
The Greek goalie they had was really good too. He had a good game.
Yeah, what was his name?
Manolas,
Was it
is
Manos?
that his name?
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
He was good. The goalie was good. It wasn't Providel, but the goalie was good. He
Yeah,
made some big saves.
I do recall that whoever it was in net was playing pretty well. I gotta get his name right now. His name is Manolas or Mandas.
Mandas.
All right. Let's move along. So next big game. So who do we got here? This is gonna be
Juve Roma.
Juve Roma, or I guess Roma Juve, right? Since they were the home
Yeah.
team. All right,
Yeah.
take it. You start. I'll fill in the gaps. Kind of like
Oh, I
we'll do
mean,
a reverse thing we did with Milan.
yeah. Well, I'm not really going to summarize, play for play here. I mean, for me, nice goal by Locatelli.
Yeah,
It's
he does that a couple times a
Juventus
season.
is. It's the A coach is not going to solve this team's problems. It's the same exact team we've been seeing all year. I prefer the formation because it covers up our weaknesses better. It makes things more simple. I like the starting lineup. I think this is the way you do it. You know, when you have three poor center backs, this is how you line them up. Locatelli Thuram is the most obvious midfield choice. We're not playing around and screwing things up anymore. McKennie and Weah, I don't mind those guys being wingbacks, and I know McKennie didn't have the greatest performance, but he put in the work, and that's what you need on the sideline. First and foremost, from a wingback, you need the work. Gonzalez and Vlahovic just can't find their ass with both hands. But they're that's fine. Yildiz didn't have his top performance. This is the right setup. Kone, excellent. Sule got better as the game went on. Angelino, I think is a really, really good player. I really like him.
Yep.
We kind of identified him early in the season as being like this man. This is a really good signing. The more you watch the guy, he's very good with the ball, and he had a pretty decent
Yeah, no, I used to
defensive
watch
game too.
him back when he was on what the Galatasaray. I think he was on there for a little bit. He's always been
Mhm.
talented. I mean, he's had a good list of teams he played for: Man City, Leipzig, Galatasaray, Roma. He's been a couple off teams, but he's a good player. He's not even that old yet. He's 28. I mean, he just turned 28 a few months ago, so like he's gonna have a good several years left in Serie A, and he's only gonna
Oh
get
yeah,
better in this league when he gets a little more experience. So he's a good
yeah.
player.
I
Good win
I
back.
think he's excellent. I really like the tactical shift Ranieri did at halftime, and this is
Yeah.
a sign of a good coach.
That's I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, go for it.
It made all the difference because Selleck, he's not a wing back.
No.
He's definitely more at home, as a proper fullback, and then it made a big difference on the game. Sule got better because he did an awesome job, getting back, helping out on defense, covering lots of gaps. I mean, I think he was the last man back on numerous occasions. I really like seeing that out of a young player. Not having the greatest game, it's not really going your way. Juve's pretty, was pretty tough to break down. And so he did what he could, and that was put in the work. So, and I also like watching Sule too, because obviously I didn't really want to get rid of him, but when I think Cristante and Kone put put in a lot of work, and it's sad because Locatelli and Thuram are supposed to be probably supposed to win that battle, but Kone is just a
Yeah.
monster,
Kone has
like
been an
Angelino.
awesome signing, and the
Yeah,
Roma's definitely had two really
yeah,
nice signings here, and Kone and Angelina were have been their best ones for sure.
yeah,
I would
yeah. I
say
mean,
Shimura though has been a really good impact
yes.
the past few games. Most of the season
Hmm.
nothing, but the past like 3, 4, 5 games he's really made a big impact. Like he's come up with some huge goals both in Europa League here. I mean, so he's become a pretty clutch player for them. Salamanca's been good. I think he may have been out with suspension because he didn't get any minutes and he should have. I mean, he would have if he was
Yeah, he
playing.
was suspended.
Yeah,
That's a good point. So no Dybala, no Salamakers. Those have been their two best players,
in attack for
especially in terms of
sure. Oh
attack.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, and that is a big bonus for Juve this game because
I think Roma
Juve
would have won if
got
he would have
outplayed.
had easy
Yes.
to have the ball. Roma wins that game, and then if Salamanca's
Yeah.
on, you're probably looking at a slight favorite for Roma as well.
Yeah. Roma had very little inspiration going forward. Actually, I think there was long stints of the game where they had zero.
Yeah,
So, beside and if they just had a little bit, I mean, this Juve defense is trash. They're terrible. They got turned around 6 different ways, multiple times, and there was no one really to make them pay for it. Delbeck really struggled. There was one where he he had like a quick break. He could have dished the ball, just did make the dumbest choice ever. Just like slowed the play down and took a horrible shot. I was like, thank God. Um, but yeah, it was very
Ulu
sloppy.
can't aerial mark El Shaarawy, who's like not some great header of the ball. And that's always been, even at Milan. I called it out when he was there. He doesn't know how to read the game as far as in
No.
the air goes. The
Yeah.
goal, I mean, from Roma from Shomurodov came right off of his side as well. I mean, I think like right before that he made a really nice slide tackle. And people, are like, oh look at his slide tackle. Look at his marking on the goal. There's nobody around him. Sorry, hiccup there. Nobody around him besides Shomurodov, and he chooses to mark nothing. He just stands still. Like,
Oh, just
please watch these things, guys who are listening to the cast. Sorry, please go look at this stuff. It is ridiculous. Like, same thing as Chow.
oh
They just don't
these
pay
guys are
attention.
so bad. They're so bad at reading the game. They have no. I don't think they ever even watch. They certainly don't study. And then they either freeze up or they're just I don't know, just completely confused. I mean,
Yeah.
even the slide tackles, it's man, UVA fans, they're just it's there's a lot of them. There's a bell curve for sure, but they're just gushing over his performance. I'm going, dude, I saw a guy completely out of position. I mean, the slide tackle, he was all the way
Most
over on
people think
Kelly's
he's a
side.
success at Juve. I think
Yeah,
he's not at all.
I if this guy is good enough for Juventus, then we are truly screwed.
Yeah, you're not winning Serie A anytime soon if he's considered a starting qualities center back for
No,
you guys.
he would never have touched the field in years past. And the fact that people think he's good enough now, it just goes to show how far we've fallen.
I mean, I hate to hate on the guy.
Um,
It's not his fault.
no,
It's
I'm not
Juve's
trying
fault for
to.
signing. No, I know it's Juve's fault for signing him. Like he doesn't fit.
Yeah, it's
He's not good
yeah,
enough.
it's a representation of where we are right now as a club. We have Kalulu, Vega, and Kelly, and Vega's probably the best of them,
Yeah,
but
he
he's
is.
not even. We're not even keeping him. It was just
No.
announced today, like we're not keeping him. We're not keeping Conceição. We're not keeping who's the other idiot? It doesn't matter. We shouldn't keep any of them anyways. Oh, Kolomuani, who did way less than Vlahovic. Everyone hates on Vlahovic, and Vlahovic has certainly not been nearly as good as he needs to be, and he needs to go absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's like Kolomuani's done nothing more than him.
No, he started
There's
off on
clearly
fire,
a larger problem.
and the rest of it nothing.
Yeah, there's clearly a bigger problem here. Okay, when you have, when your entire creative force is in the hands of a 19-year-old kid who played, who didn't play that much last season, you have a problem. When you spend 300, nearly 300, well, it would be 300 million if they actually, enacted on all these loans. When you spend 200 to 250 million dollars on players, and the best guys are still your guys like Bangula and Yildiz,
Yeah.
you have a problem. So Tudor is putting the right guys out there. He's saying the right things in press conferences, and that's the most important things at Juventus, that you say the right things in a press conference. Okay, that's what
Yeah.
people want to hear.
Yeah. Right.
Okay,
That's pathetic.
but like he's doing
He's
a
fine,
fine
man.
job.
Tudor's fine, but like, what do you expect the coach to do here? It's just like being at
Yeah,
Milan. What's the coach
you
gonna do
have
right
low
now?
quality players. You have low caliber players. You have no class on this team.
From the management
Who's
down,
your
it's sloppy. They're transmitting bad stuff.
so Mike? Look at this roster, and you tell me who our
Let's actually
classiest
just
player is.
just list off every player. Go for it. Start from goalie.
Di Gregorio.
He's been fine. Okay, what's
He's
next?
average. Kalulu.
Not nope.
Vega.
Nope. Vega, you never know. Paired with a couple guys
He's not
could be
class.
okay, but he's not
He's
class. No.
no.
Kelly's
Kelly.
terrible. Honestly, I meant to say this. For as much as crap as I gave Kalulu, Kelly was bad all game long. Yes, Kalulu was responsible for the goal. Kelly was bad all game.
Oh, Kelly. I don't think I've seen him play well for more than like a minute.
Nope.
He's so bad. I mean, you could have got any player to do what he does.
Could have gotten a
You could have got a
kid.
player. Yes. You could have got a guy for like $1 million to do what he
Yeah.
does.
You could have, or just keep Dean Hoyson. All right, let's.
No, we don't want Hoyson. Class player. We don't want those.
He's got
We
the
don't want class
capital
players.
gains though. You got those sweet
Oh
capital
yeah.
gains, or you can have
No,
a world class
no,
player in your
it's
hands.
don't say capital gains. You have to say plus Valenza. It's a word everyone just learned. So you
Ah,
say
okay.
plus Valenza. It's a new, yeah,
Yeah,
plus that's the
yeah.
new word and everyone acts like they
Plus
understand what it
Valenza.
means.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, they'll speak Italian now.
Who's next on the list?
Yeah. McKenny.
I love him, but he's not class.
Yeah. Locatelli, same thing. I love him, but he's
Yeah,
not class.
yeah.
Thuram.
I'm saying
He's not
could
class.
get there in the future as a kid.
He doesn't have the technical ability that that he's big, strong.
He's got some decent feet for his size.
He does.
He could
for
get
his
there.
size.
He's not class right now though, but he could get there.
I would swap him for Kone in a second.
Oh yeah. But on this team, he could get, of these guys, he's one of two I see on this list that could get there.
Yes. Wea.
No, he's not class. He's a good hard worker. Puts his head down, goes to
Nico.
work. No,
Yildiz.
could get there. Yildiz and Thuram could get there.
Vlahovic.
No.
Right. So we have zero class out right now, but we have two guys that might be able to get there.
And they're young. They're not like
Yeah.
been there, done that guys who have been doing this for years. Let like Paulo Dybala. They could get there.
You spend that much money and you don't have that.
Yeah. You don't even buy one proven player. That's the most amazing thing, right? Like Nico Gonzalez, he's not proven. Koop Miners is not proven. Douglas Luiz is not proven. Why don't you spend, half that budget on two proven excellent players, and then you slowly improve the quality of the team rather than just overwhelming team with junk?
This was the exact complaint I had, and when everyone was creaming their pants over all these signings and talking about how Juntali's a predator and Juntali's cooking, I was like, what the hell are you guys? Oh, Coop Miners is so sick. Like, dude, he's slow, he's unathletic, he isn't combative, and he's not a focal point.
No,
It's
he
exactly not what we need.
has good Shooting and passing when he's feeling good and the moment is right, which means he is an icing on the cake type of guy, not a building block.
I call him win more. When your team's already
Right.
winning, he'll
Yeah.
help you win more.
You got
He's
10
not going to
class
bring you
guys,
out of a
man.
tough
Bring
game.
him on, great. But
When
he's
you're
not
down
going
by
to
a
do the linchpin.
goal, right? When you're down by a goal and you need that guy you can count on, he is not that
Well, look at
guy,
this. The
and
game
we
was tied up
need
and he
that
did
guy.
jack nothing, right? They brought him on to be an
Oh,
impact
he
sub and he
was.
did nothing. So, I mean, it's
I
what
think
you
he was
get.
worse than Kolomuani,
Yeah.
it was worse than Vlahovic. I mean, so this is the problem, and this the reason I'm bringing this up is Roma got better with their subs. Roma brought on Shamuradov,
Roma's a team, though. And that's the difference. On
Paredes.
paper, they don't have a remarkable talent. They're just a team. Like, they buy into
It's
the
true.
system of this. Ranieri's got these guys playing for him. Um, Roma is Roma right now. Like the signings for the most part made sense. I feel like they were actually punching way below their weight at the beginning of the season. They're finally doing what I thought they should be doing. Um,
Yes.
Juve is the opposite, the exact opposite, punching way below their weight. But it's a disjointed team. The signings don't make sense. The management's not transmitting the right stuff. It's all problems from the top. It's all problems from the top, and it just
Well,
trickles down slowly. So what is a coach gonna do here?
a coach isn't going to do anything.
No,
And this is why I will say the one positive thing is they're not retaining these guys. So there's a guy on X. I want to give him a shout out here because he had a really good analogy. His name's Zio Facciatosta, and he said Giuntoli is making minestrone. Kind of just took a bunch of shit he had in the pantry and threw it in the pot, and that's how he built this team. And that's exactly what this is. Just a bunch of shit from the pantry. It's a pantry team. Just throw a bunch of shit in there, and this is what we're talking about. This is not a well built team, and it's a mess. The one good thing they're doing is that they're not going to retain these guys. They're not bringing back, even Jallo, that guy, that the one signing they made last year for, when they were sabotaging Allegri. They're not bringing that guy back. Conceição's not coming back. Colomwani's not coming back. Vega's not coming back. It's a damn shame we have to get stuck with Nico and Coop Miners and Douglas Luiz. If they really do completely delete last season, because they're not getting rid. I'm stuck with Giuntoli at least for another year. I mean, he should have been fired by now, clearly, but Elkin's an idiot and he's going to keep him. So the
that'd
only
be a
good signing
travesty,
that
man.
I see, yeah. Oh no, he would have been gone by. Why would you keep him? Like let the other guy come in and start working for the future right now.
Yeah.
Like you start negotiating now. You don't start negotiating in freaking November. Where I
Terrible.
think that's when Giuntoli. Yeah, all our signings were in like the last week. So no, not to keep dragging on about this, week in and week out, but like this is, I like Tudor. He's a nice guy. He's doing a fine job. This isn't his problem here. You have a low class team. The good news for Juventus, we have 3 really easy matches coming up next, so these should be we should be able to mop them up.
Should be able to
Good
build
news
on
for
it.
Roma. Roma has a very tough schedule, I think, remaining. But the good news for Roma is they got through a reasonably difficult game with their 2 best players out, and they had to start Cristante as well for some reason. So they're only going to improve with their roster's only going to improve.
Yeah,
Next
they do have some tough games, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Juve should be able to build on this. Roma, tough schedule, so we'll see.
week.
Yeah,
Let's go to the big game. Let's go to the proper
let's
game.
move to the last one. I just got done watching this. Saw the replay. Bologna versus Napoli.
Oof.
We kind of both called this one, unfortunately, a draw.
Yeah.
Both teams not helped out, and big issue for Napoli. Big issue for Napoli. I don't think. I'll start here. I don't think the issue was just this game. Bologna's in great form, and they're at Bologna.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, you'd expect Napoli if they're trying to win this, to win this, but I don't really. The issue was the past like 3 or 4, where they were ahead leading the game and they dropped the ball in like 20 minutes remaining, which is really not typical of a Conte team. And I think they just don't have a good enough team. I think they're close. A couple more pieces would have got them there, and I think that we're starting to see the cracks over a long season. You just don't see the players kind of stepping up to where they need to be, right? Like
Well, they have
the team is just not good enough yet.
a terrible bench. There's no Conte doesn't have any options off the bench. You're like, all right, cool. We're gonna bring this guy in. He's gonna make an impact. Like Neres, he's really good, but I almost wish they would bring him on as a sub, just because to give him some speed. But then you're like, well, Rosberg is kind of better as a sub too. Sometimes when he wants to be. Sometimes like today, he's just useless. Um, is Gilmore was good off the bench, but man, I hate I don't know what happened with McTominay, or he had a thing, or I think I think there was a chance he wasn't going to play today. I know. So okay, you go into Bologna. Conte's suspended. He's up in the stands. He's not even on the sideline. Meret is sick or something with the flu, and Buongiorno's out. You're going, that sucks. And they come out with a draw. You probably would take that result, considering that, you know, two extremely important players and your manager, your inspirational, emotional leader is missing.
Yeah.
But they had the lead in that game. And at
This
the
is what they
beginning of
do,
the
though.
year, they were holding on to those.
They don't have a good enough team to lock it down for that long. Unfortunately, backing up into like the soak with the pressure Catenaccio style does not work with the quality of players they have on this team. It just does not. Like they can do it for like maybe 20 minutes, but they were doing it for like 50 minutes. And that's not going to work. Bologna took over the game late in the first half, very late in the first half. Most of the first half was not able to play better. But they took over late in the first half and they never let up after that.
I
Bologna
mean,
outplayed them the
honest,
entire second half.
yeah, and that's fine. But all and it was a really nice goal. That was they thought they probably had it covered up, but I don't know. It's
Yeah, but they looked so much more dangerous and threatening, and you just knew they were going
yeah,
to crack. Doesn't matter like what
yeah.
like
I
you
mean,
knew Napoli was going to crack. I did not have faith
I
they were
don't
going to
have
hold on to
faith
it.
in yeah, I don't have faith in Jesus and Rachmani. I don't.
No,
Um, yeah, Anguissa's definitely, he great goal, beautiful. He's so mistake prone in those situations, and not having McTominay is their most important player in the midfield in those when you're trying to defend. No, Labaka's their best midfielder, but McTominay is the guy that actually picks up runs coming through when the defenders are out of position. He wasn't there to do that. Gilmore did an okay job, but yeah, it's huge disappointment, but major credit to Italiano. They actually played a decent defensive game. They gave Napoli their chances for sure. Napoli failed to bury. I mean, they probably missed, um, you know, two that they absolutely should have freaking had. But you know, they had their opportunities. You got to make the most of them. They didn't. They failed. Um, every time that I think that Politano and Di Lorenzo work really well together, then they go and blow something.
yeah, they were getting
And you're
lit
just
up
like,
down
come
down
on,
that
guys.
side, like really
Oh,
hardcore
dude.
lit up. And then Dominguez came
Fucking
on.
torch, dude.
I thought he came on too late. He looked
Yeah.
really good in just a few minutes he started to play. Oh, Dan Ndoye's been looking good all season, and
Yep.
Miranda deserves a special shout out. Fantastic game
Yeah.
from him.
Mm-hmm.
Lukumi looked terrible. He got worked all game long, whether it was by
He's not a good player.
Anguissa or it's funny he looks a lot worse not with Calafiori next to him. But I thought that the Miranda was fantastic. Orsolini was excellent.
Yeah.
Odegaard's a guy I've been talking about all season. I think he's been underrated. He's
Mm-hmm.
been one of like the kind of hidden gems of this team.
Yep.
Kalinga, man, I don't think he's a great player. I think Castro is way better. So, but
Oh,
yeah, I
not even
mean,
close. Yeah.
Bologna's got some good players. Odegaard, Orsolini, Ndoye, Dominguez, and Castro, pretty good.
It's a really well built.
Sartori, man,
I think yeah.
good
It's Sartori
DS.
and Devayo. Devayo's been doing the a lot of the scouting there. It's a Sartori is so good at what he does. He understands how to put a locker room together, how to build a team around players that actually fit a system.
Yeah, exactly.
And it, I don't like that there's no Italians on this team. It really pisses me off. But, you know,
But it's a well built team. So like at least in this
yeah,
case, just like what I was saying with Milan, like it's not working there. This is at least working. So I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
I mean, they're on their second coach now, and they're having the same success. It's because it's a well-built team,
Yep.
guys. Coaches are important, yes. And there are not a lot of great coaches out there. There are so few great coaches. I don't think people realize how few great coaches there truly are.
Yes.
Most of them are just like another player on the damn team. So you build your team from the inside out, and you can rotate coaches in there, and you'll be just fine. And then if you get
Yeah.
a great coach like Conte, he can take your shitty 10th place team and make them a freaking title contender. And that's that.
Yeah, but that's few and far between. There's like 10 probably like excellent coaches out there. The rest,
Yeah,
I agree.
maybe. Yeah,
I agree. They're okay.
yeah, maybe 10. Scufett was good. I know a lot of the Napoli fans are worried about him. I mean,
He was
I don't know how
fine.
much I've seen him play. He's a really good goalie. I don't. Yeah, Caprile is an excellent young keeper, but Moret's here for the long haul. He's not going anywhere, and
No.
Scufett's an excellent backup. I mean, he really is an excellent backup. So he's totally fine.
Buffet had a ton of promise
Wasn't
back when he started as a kid over at
Yeah.
Udinese. I think he was one of the hot names.
Mhm.
Fell off, but he's a great backup. That's a perfect
He is.
signing. Perfect signing,
Well, there's
capable of
not a lot of
starting.
team for there's not a lot of teams for Italian keepers to go to, especially now since they're not prioritizing them anymore. If maybe he would have career ended up differently if he would have gotten that one break,
Yeah.
But
Yep.
he's always been a good keeper. That's been no question about that. So
Oh,
I
they
wasn't I
did
wasn't
not
worried at
miss
all.
much. They did not miss much with Scouffet and
No,
Embed out. I think that actually I want to give a shout out to Ravalia. I thought he played fantastic.
hmm
He was super
yes,
composed, super controlled. He looked excellent, and I always thought he was a decent keeper. He looked excellent tonight.
yeah, I agree.
Um,
I agree.
where do we go from here with Napoli? I mean, they keep dropping the ball in big matches. As I said, the
mhm,
issue is more the earlier stuff, not this game so much.
no,
But like,
that's
I don't trust them to hold on to leads even against not great teams anymore, and that's not
there's a
something I would have said about
reason.
Conte's teams.
There's a reason they were 10th place last year. This was not
Yeah,
just a 10th place team. This was a team that was whining and bitching. The players wanted to leave. It was a mess.
yeah,
And those are the guys who stayed after that miraculous Scudetto run. And make no bones about it, this is not an indictment on Napoli. I love the whole team and organization. I've always been a fan of them. They that was a very lucky season. Lightning in a bottle. I mean, Spalletti has never won shit in his career. This is a big moment for him. That was his best season he's ever had in his entire life. It all just worked out. Okay, Osimhen was a monster. Cavara was a monster. Kim was incredible. Zielinski. He'd been there for a few years. I mean, these guys play great. Those guys are gone. Those are their best guys. They're stuck with Di Lorenzo, the captain of the freaking team that made him a national team player. He wanted to leave. He was
yeah,
just
yep,
bitching and whining. Like, what kind of captain is that? So let's
yeah. They had a
pump the
battle back from a
brakes
lot.
and understand. Like the best players for Napoli this season have been McTominay and Lukaku and Buongiorno, the guys that were brought in, and Labaka. Labaka, I'm like the
Yeah,
rest of the guys have been average and have had their moments. Like all the guys that have been good have been brought in. The guys that have been setting the tone have been brought in.
yeah.
So you're still surrounded by guys like Rachmani that and
Good sub.
freaking Juan
Shouldn't
Jesus.
be a starter.
Yeah, and so this is the problem that they're having. And
Yeah,
Neres is, he didn't have the greatest game today, but he's been typically really, really good for them. So,
yeah. He's
they
pretty much still back from injury though. His second game back.
yeah,
So I mean,
exactly.
he needs a
That was
few
yeah, I was
games,
gonna
but and even so, he still had some dangerous moments, but not how he was prior to injury.
yeah, exactly. And so like, you gotta lean on if Neres isn't playing well, you gotta go with Politano on the wing. Raspadori is not a winger, so he's out now that
Yeah,
they're running this formation again. So it's we were just talking about well-built teams. Well, this is the first year of a
it's
rebuild,
you can
basically,
see the
and
pieces. It's just not there yet.
yeah, yeah, exactly. They next year we'll see what they do. I hope Conte stays. We'll see.
Yeah, he could build off this for
But
sure if he stays.
yeah, this is totally built off this, and I think McTominay has been one of the players of the season. I don't know. Maybe he's got something going on. I think he's still coming back from some kind of injury.
Yeah, he is.
Um,
Yep.
okay, yeah. So that's why he's not
He
playing the
was
whole
out with
game.
it with
Because
like
typically,
a flu or something like that, so he probably still didn't feel
uh,
great. He still fought
okay, yeah,
hard,
that's
but
why
wasn't his usual self.
he's such a critical player for
Big
them,
time.
though. I mean,
Does it
it's
all.
even in this match here in the beginning
Yeah.
when they were still playing well, like he's constantly covering for Jesus. And that's why, it's like, oh, I can't believe Juan Jesus is playing so well. It's like he's not. He's still Juan Jesus. he's he's covering his
Yeah.
ass. That's why it's working with McTominay. McTominay's covering for Juan. Did you notice that McTominay's goals have gone down since Juan Jesus has become a starter? I mean, it's just McTominay's a smart player. He's had a huge impact on that team. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they have an easy schedule coming up. They need to win out.
The
Inter
next
will
three
stumble at least one
games,
more time.
Inter has winnable, or sorry, Inter has tough games. Napoli has winnable ones. So we'll see what happens here.
Okay.
But I wanted to just finish this one with overall quality. I don't think not. I think we're starting to see that Napoli's team is not actually there yet, and Conte's just punching way above his weight to make this
Yeah.
happen. Um, that was the main point I wanted to say. And you're just seeing his good coaching come through. But I don't
Yeah,
know if
absolutely.
that's enough to kind of coach these players to an actual Scudetto. The next 3 games will decide everything, in my opinion. We'll see. They're
It's
winnable
all about
games.
character, man. It really is all about character in those kinds of games like today. You know, it Conte will always have the tactics right. He's brilliant at it. I mean, with the way they came out of the box against Bologna too, they were. I mean, they had what's his face Italiano completely figured out. Yeah, they just start taking your guys off and replacing them with bums and or guys that aren't good enough. It's just not going to
Yeah.
work. So yeah, going forward, that's going to be the problem. Can they get enough goals on the board before they have to put their subs in? But Bologna going forward, I'm not sure what their schedule looks like, but this
I
team is
think they
red
think
freaking
they've
hot.
got a pretty hard schedule, but I mean they've got it all to play for. They're playing well.
They're
They,
playing great.
as of right now, are probably the favorites in my opinion to make top 4 just with how they're playing. The team belief
Yeah.
is there. Italiano's got them all buying in. And they're just playing better than their rivals. They're playing better than the Atalanta right now. They're playing better than Juve. They're playing better than everybody else. Playing for top 4.
Mm-hmm.
They just are. So right now, crazy enough, Bologna may make it into the Champions League again. What
Yeah.
do you want to go to a CL and then review and then call it a day?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so Champions League, there's really only one match to cover in this. So Inter's going to be playing Bayern Munich. What do you think's going to happen here?
I think Inter's going to beat Bayern Munich over 2 legs. I don't know what's going to happen in this one. It's going to be 1 point, one goal game. Is this first one in Bayern?
This
Munich or
first
whatever?
one is, let me look it up. Got to pull it up. It's in Bayern.
Yeah,
I like that
Inter's
because
going to lose
Bayern's
one
actually got
nothing.
a lot of injuries right now, so it's the perfect time to go away.
Yeah, I think they're going to lose 1-0, but then they're going to beat them in the next leg.
I think they're going to draw here. I think Inter's actually going to draw here. Bayern's going to put some pressure on. They've still got a ton of talent no matter which way you slice, even with all the injuries they have.
Oh yeah.
But I think if Inter can tie here and go home with it, they're going to win the fixture. So I'm hoping for like a 1-1 tie, and then Inter comes back home and does like a 2-0, 2-1, something like that.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I think Inter beat Bayern. I do.
Overall, but you think this game's going to be a loss and they come back and win?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah.
All right. That's fine if for those previews. I mean, we're not going to do the rest of the CL. Let's go
No,
to the rest
don't
of
give a
Serie
shit about
A.
other teams.
All right. So
Yes.
this next week, Milan Udinese. It's at Udinese. I think you can't predict
Milan
Milan.
got this one.
I mean, they should always. Udinese has been
Yeah.
stinking it up. I do think that Milan slides by with the win. I'm gonna go 2-1. It's not gonna be a pretty one. It never is. So I'll go 2-1
Yeah, I was
Milan.
gonna say 2-1, 2-1 as well.
Venezia Monza. Monza's gonna finally get a win. 2-1.
No, Venezia are gonna
I
beat
know.
them 1-0.
I just always gonna predict it right now until the end of the season. Inter Cagliari.
Inter 3-1.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be too hard for them. Yes, they're coming off the Champions League, but it's Cagliari.
I think they do better when they have multiple games a week. I think they get in their groove. I think that's been the case for most of the season.
Yeah.
So this whole 1 game a week thing is such bullshit. So
Yeah, besides injuries, yes. If they're not injured, yeah. Juve, Lecce, I think Juve is going to walk away with this one. Maybe be a little sloppy at the start, but I think they'll figure it out.
2-0.
Maybe, yeah. I was going to say 2-0. Big game here, Atalanta Bologna.
Shocker. Atalanta's gonna win 3-2.
Do you think they're going to reconfirm their top 3 spot
Bologna
and kick
is
Bologna
going
down?
to leave. Yes, Bologna's going to leave Atalanta enough space to get their groove back. Bologna does not play a sound defensive game. Atalanta is very good in attack. I think they'll get it back. I really do. 3-2 Atalanta.
Man, you've made that sound convincing. I was going to predict
Thank
a
you.
draw.
Yeah,
I was going to
I'm a
predict a draw.
salesman.
I don't want it to be a draw because it helps no team out. It screws over Atalanta, screws over Bologna. I want there to be a winner for sure. I'm going to go with you. You convinced me.
Good.
Fiorentina Parma.
I got it.
I need Fiorentina to win this 2-0.
Oh, God damn it.
Come on,
These
Fiorentina.
are the games all season long. These are the matches where you're like, yes, Fiorentina
Yep.
should beat Parma. And
Parma's
then
a
Parma
scrappy
fucking
team, man.
wins. Yeah.
Look what they just did at Inter. Parma freaking tight Inter coming back.
Parma's all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose 2-1.
Okay.
They'll
Good.
probably win 2-1, but they're at the end.
No. Fiorentina's at home. I think Fiorentina pulls it off.
Yeah. Yeah, Fiorentina been playing
Verona,
a lot better not to. They got their formation figured out.
I think so. I like what they have going on now. Verona, Genoa. I think Genoa continues to play well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go close on the 1-1 or sorry 1-0.
Yeah. Genoa always plays close games. I don't think they're going to blow anybody out. I
No.
really don't. They're very well organized though and disciplined. Yeah, 1-0 sounds good to me.
Interesting game. Torino Como at Como.
Huh. Hmm. Hmm.
I think this has draw written all over it. 2-2.
You think so?
Yeah. Torino's stable. They're steady. Como is that kind of flash in the pan team where they can get hot. I like 2-2.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with you. 2-2.
I'll go with Napoli Empoli, even though it's not the last game. Napoli Empoli on Monday. I think Napoli has to win this. Empoli is not a fantastic team, but they've
Napoli is
been
in a
better.
must-win from here on out because Napoli have failed to take advantage of their opportunities. Every single match Napoli plays from here on out is a must-win. They must beat Empoli.
Yeah, they got too many points to catch up.
I say they get them 2-0. I say they get the shutout.
I agree. Biggest game by far, Lazio Roma. Both teams are kind of pushing for that last spot. This game may very well end the chances. Actually, probably will end the chances of one of these two teams for getting top four. Who wins it?
Yes.
It's at Lazio, but I mean same stadium.
It's hard to say because Dybala is massive for Roma, and Roma does have a good team otherwise, but they're not amazing. Salamaker's being back is a big deal. Paredes and Kone have been good in the midfield, but I like this. Can I see what Baroni's going to do for a starting lineup first before I make this call? Because we
can make a secondary prediction afterwards. However,
okay.
if it's Balayan and Ravella, or even Guendouzi's good.
Yeah, or if it's just a sustained starting lineup. He does weird shit for no reason, like way too often. If he picks a sane lineup, I'm going to say that Lazio beats them 2-1. If he does stupid shit, I'm going to say it's going to be Roma 1-0. That's a total cop-out. So I'm just going to go Lazio 2-1.
All right, I like it.
I'm going to assume that Baroni is going to get his act together here.
I think Roma takes this. Yeah. I think it's going to be a really dirty game. I think Roma pulls it off very close, 2-1, 1-0, something like that. I could see a tie, which I would hate to see because I've been seeing it all season long with teams that really need to make something happen. A tie is probably the smart call. Like if you're betting, I'd probably bet on a tie. I don't want to see Chow not play anymore. I think he's not good enough. I think all the other ones who are up top are okay, but I think Chow Na has just never been very good for Lazio. I think he actually hinders them. So I would not run him. I definitely think you got to run Zakanya and Isaacsen for almost the entire game. Yeah, but I don't know. I think Roma's going to pull it off if they have Salamaker's back. I think
Pisili.
I think it's scrappy
in this. Last week in 10 matches there were 7 draws. There's only 3 matches that were actually decisive. 7 draws in 10 matches.
Yeah.
We predicted no draws, I believe.
This past week, I predicted almost all draws.
No, in this one. In this one coming up.
Yeah. I think it's gonna change. I think it's gonna change this week.
Okay.
Stuff's gonna shake up. We will see.
A change in the winds, says you.
Yeah, a change in the winds. That's pretty much that. So I don't have any more final thoughts.
We were requested to do our top 11 of the week, but I think that's going to be too time consuming. Maybe we'll just do like a weekly one, like a quick episode in the middle of the week with that.
Yeah, like top 5 of the week, best and worst. I think we might do like a midweek thing. That'd be cool.
I promise. I think we go a little bit long on some of these bigger matches, and I don't want to have to not do that because I like kind of getting into it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for putting up with my hiccups the past 30 minutes here. Can't stop them, so it is what it is. But thank you all for joining.
Won't stop.
All right, thank you everybody, and as always, Forza Calcio. Ciao.
Forza Calcio.